From the 19 News Digital Desk, I'm Dan Rose. Good afternoon. Our focus today is on Senate Bill 174, legislation that passed in the Ohio Senate this past November. We are examining the progress of what is effectively a parenting rights bill, a topic forced into the light by recent events. A horrific discovery last week in Cleveland, where a mother now faces 2 counts of murder after her 2 young daughters were found in suitcases, has ignited a profound question about the nature of parental rights. We have spoken with the father of one of the victims. He alleges he spent the last several years attempting to secure parental rights, a plea that, according to him, fell on deaf ears. It is against this chilling backdrop that we are compelled to re-examine Senate Bill 174, and to do so, we have one of its co-sponsors, State Senator Teresa Gavone. She is a Republican from the Bowling Green District, which also encompasses Sandusky in our viewing area. Senator, thank you for making time for us today. I'm doing very well. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. Let's delve into this bill. As one of its co-sponsors, what was the fundamental goal? My reading suggests this is not about advantaging the mother, nor is it about advantaging the father. What is the core principle at play? The central purpose of this legislation is to recenter the entire legal process on the child's best interest, to ensure the absolute focus remains on the child. This is a modernization that is, frankly, long overdue. As an attorney who has practiced in this space for many years, I have seen the profound need to update these core concepts. Updating is a powerful word, especially concerning laws that may have been untouched for decades. From your professional experience as an attorney in this realm, what were the specific failings you observed in the law as it stands? Under the current system, most courts default to a standard schedule if the parents don't have a shared plan. This standard typically results in the mother receiving custody while the father is granted every Wednesday and alternating weekends. This new legislation dismantles that model. It actively promotes maximizing parenting time with both parents, proceeding from the understanding that in nearly all cases, that is what truly serves a child's best interest. That becomes the court's primary objective. It compels parents to work toward a plan of equal or substantially equal parenting time whenever it is deemed to be in the child's best interest. In effect, it abolishes those outdated standard court schedules. Yes, and some of the key provisions I've reviewed strike me as the kind of common sense law many people want to see enacted. It requires a parenting plan, a mutually agreed upon strategy for raising a child, one that fosters a meaningful relationship with both parents. The intent is to move beyond a fragmented existence of one day this week, 2 days the next. The language specifies shared parenting time and shared decision-making time. We must acknowledge the significant number of critical decisions that must be made, and they should not be made unilaterally. A particular clause that stood out prohibits the court from giving preference to a parent or legal custodian based on that person's financial status or gender. Why is that provision so critical? It's absolutely crucial. You encounter cases constantly where one parent essentially concedes, saying, "Well, the mother will get custody, and I'll just be left with every other weekend or visitation." Our goal is to change that entire psychological framework by forcing the focus back to the child's welfare. It is about maximizing that parenting time regardless of whether one person earns a great deal of money or whether that person is the father or the mother. Again, the sole focus is what is best for that child. And there is another component I found compelling. For unmarried parents, it allows either the mother or the father, reinforcing this concept of equality, that neither parent holds more intrinsic power to file a complaint at no charge. Because we have to be honest, one of the most significant obstacles for any parent seeking more rights to their children is the financial burden. The idea of filing a complaint at no cost, requesting that the allocation of parenting rights and responsibilities be reviewed and potentially altered, and securing an expedited hearing seems transformative. You are removing the financial barrier and the time barrier. Why were those 2 elements such a critical focus? It is profoundly important. The objective is to dismantle the barriers, to ensure that both parents are given the chance to forge a genuine connection with their child. And it's true, a filing fee can be a significant obstacle, but there's also a need for speed in this process. Imagine you suddenly discover you're a father. This mechanism allows you, or the mother, to petition for visitation rights through an accelerated process, all within a 30-day window. A hearing is held and temporary orders are issued. with the aim of rapidly establishing that crucial visitation and parenting time. We are speaking with State Senator Gavon, who represents the Bowling Green District as well as the entirety of Sandusky. Let's examine its current status. The bill has already passed the Senate. What is the situation now? Would you characterize its progress as stalled? It was passed by the Senate just this past November. Its next hurdle is the House. What is its position? And would you agree that it has stalled? I would not say that it has stalled. We have been engaged in a continuous effort to refine the language, and we anticipate making a few minor adjustments before collaborating with the Judicial Committee in the House to advance it through their process as well. I believe this is an exceptionally important piece of legislation. It has the backing of over 90 supportive organizations. In fact, it is also considered one of the highest priorities for advocates against domestic violence. The protection of children is paramount, and this bill takes a significant step toward achieving that very goal. Is there any hope of it passing before the summer recess, of getting this signed into law? Let me be clear. I am committed to working tirelessly to get this accomplished as swiftly as possible because I am convinced of its profound importance. State Senator Teresa Gavaron, we thank you for your time. We understand your schedule is demanding, and we appreciate you speaking with us here in Northeast Ohio. Thank you for having me. That concludes the interview. This was a discussion centered on a piece of legislation that has returned to the forefront, prompted by the tragic events of last week and a renewed examination of the rights of parents. We will continue to monitor this bill and will report on its progress to the House floor and potentially to the governor's desk. Remember, 3.5 hours of First Alert weather and news coverage begins at 3 o'clock on Channel 19. Until then, for 19 News, I'm Dan Rose. Behind the cold ink of legislative documents and the somber headlines of modern tragedies lies a singular, fragile truth. A child's heart is not a prize to be won, but a sanctuary to be protected. For too long, the halls of justice have treated parenting as a zero-sum game, where winners and losers are determined by bank accounts and outdated biases. We have seen the devastating cost of deaf ears, the silent suffering of children caught in the crossfire of a system that often prioritizes bureaucracy over belonging. The true measure of our humanity is found in how we bridge the distance between a parent's longing and a child's safety. By dismantling financial barriers and replacing rigid visitation schedules with meaningful parenting plans, we are doing more than just updating laws. We are healing the future. Every child deserves the presence, the protection, and the undivided love of both parents. Let us move beyond the bitterness of yours and mine and embrace the sacred necessity of ours. When we recenter the world around a child's best interest, we ensure that no voice is too small to be heard and no love is too poor to be felt. Let love be the law, and let the child be the light.